So we kind of jump in the middle now of his opening statement, and he says that his opening case for the existence of God will cover three areas of thought. And he kind of lists them here, and then he will work his way through them. So the first one is the nature of evidence. So that'll be interesting, right? What do we mean by evidence, right? The presuppositional conflict of worldviews, whatever that means. He's going to explain that. And finally, the transcendental argument for God's existence. And so that's going to be his main claim, his main argument for where he's coming from. But as we mentioned last week, he's not going to really get to that until the very end. And he's only going to spend a few minutes on that, kind of introducing it, kind of teasing it out, really. And then the debate moves to Gordon Stein's opening statement. So that's where he's coming from.
Yep.
He wants to talk about the nature of evidence, the presuppositional conflict of worldviews, and the transcendental argument for God's existence. Now, when he brings up this transcendental argument, as we mentioned, he's going to mention it briefly, but then he's going to spend the whole rest of the debate just deep diving into what this is all about and how it defeats the atheist position. And so we'll see that as we go.
Yeah. I wonder what the makeup of the crowd was. I wonder how many people understood the words presuppositional conflict of worldviews and transcendental argument. So if you have a philosophical background, Kant is the one kind of cemented as the person who initiated tag, although probably not the Christian idea. There was probably few people that knew who Cornelius Van Til was, and probably nobody knew who this guy up at the podium was at the start. So I wonder just how much fans of either side was present, and how many people knew the particulars of what Bahnsen was about ready to do.
Yeah. So, all the pictures that I've seen of Bahnsen, he always had on a suit and tie. It was kind of...
I mean, 100% Presbyterian, like just middle America, just an unassuming gentleman. But again, all the links are below the Bahnsen Project, listening to him teach. And there's hundreds and hundreds of hours, thankfully, of him. And he died relatively early. And you just wonder what if he would have lived today, just how much of a powerhouse he would have gained in notoriety, because he understood what no one else did, which was Cornelius Van Til. Because everyone who read Cornelius Van Til understood that he was talking to a particular set of people. And reading Van Til's Apologetics, you have to put yourself in that right mindset. Bahnsen made it really open for the rest of us to come in.
He clarified Van Til and made it practical.
Yeah.
Van Til's various apologetics and his arguments.
Yeah. There's a reason why he's honored in such a way by people like us that know his name because of just what he was able to do. And again, check out the Bahnsen Project, check out Sermon Audio, as they have pretty much everything Bahnsen has ever recorded. And he'll talk about walk through biblical principles. He'll talk about walking through parts of the Bible. He was in the process of working through the biblical application of the Westminster Confession of Faith before he died, and then his friends picked it up and finished it for him. So he just was a powerhouse in his field. So I'm waxing eloquently, not to stall his argument here, but to talk about his own nature. But that's what he's going to do.
And the reason we're doing this is because of it was a surprise. His approach was totally different, and it was surprising.
Yeah.
And it really took, if you listen carefully, it took you, it kind of, wow, it kind of, took you off guard kind of thing. And we're trying to express, that kind of feeling that you get when you first hear, his particular approach. It is like, wow.
Yeah. So just take a spot next to us, Tony and I, around a boombox as we're listening to this debate, straining our ears to hear through the pops and hisses of a cassette tape exactly what's happening, and realizing that we don't know probably the half of it yet, but eventually it would lead to this friendship and this podcast. So you're welcome for all this. So again, church history works in mysterious ways here.